Support Laneside. Get something cool.
Hey everybody! Ah! Let's try that again now that we're not muted. Welcome to the drill room. As always, I'm the bearded beast, Rob Johnson. Thank you for staying through our muted section there. As I said, this is the drill room. This is our chance to interact, to talk bowling, to lay out equipment, talk arsenals, just interact one-on-one, but in a much larger arena. As it says on the top of the show, on the Chiron, we are going to be looking at the new releases. We've got 4 of them on the bench today that we're going to be laying out. We have the new Game Breaker 4 Pearl, the new Collision from DV8, which may be the sleeper of these 4, because we've already seen some tournament wins with it. And then the 2 big names from Hammer, of course, the 3D Offset, the 25th Anniversary Edition, and the Black Widow Pink Urethane. So thank you, Dead Polymers, for letting me know that I was muted. Also, thank you for joining us. This is our new time slot here on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. With leagues coming back, I've had to push things back a little bit, but it's a little easier for everyone else to join us. Why don't we go ahead and get started? So, as I said, we've got 4 new pieces on the bench today. You can see there we've got all 4 of them lined up, and we're actually going to lay out all 4 of them when we're on the show today. And that way we can get them drilled up during the week, and we're going to actually record these reviews hopefully this weekend and get them out ASAP so that we can maybe do a little bit of extra with them. So we're going to shoot back there in just a minute, but I wanted to get some questions that we've had this week that have come up, or since our last show on Thursday. I really like to open the show with questions from the week before. It allows us to kind of finish off the episode, and I feel like it's a great tone to start. So let's see what we've got here. We're going to head over to the old interwebs. Let's start with YouTube. Ooh, got out of focus. My head's like phasing out on one side. It's so shiny. It's cutting through time and space. Okay, so let's see here. So I don't know if you've noticed, we've put up 4 new videos this week. 3 of them today, in fact. We posted 2 over the last couple of days, but unfortunately they didn't get properly shared across to Facebook. Now they're there, so all 4 of the releases are there, and we've got a few things. From Butch, looking at the new Eruption. From Columbia 300. It says, nice video as usual, gentlemen. Looks like a house shot killer. I'm picking up a Wolverine tomorrow. Thinking pin up like Radical's most versatile layout. Love to see you guys review it. We love to review the Wolverine as well. A lot of people ask what we use our Patreon for, and the funds from like our Spreadshirt from any of our merchandise. It goes to buying these pieces that you fans ask about. So the more that you can support us, even just $1, we can put that directly towards giving you what you want. So if you want to see it, send us one or support us on Patreon, and we can try to get one ASAP. From Hershey. Yeah, cute. On the double cross, maybe move the camera one a little bit higher. Yeah. We had it set up, and then it kind of got moved over, and it got a little bit behind us. That'll get fixed for the next set of reviews. We appreciate the comment, though. Hershey also has been watching the drill room, which is awesome. Thanks. Glad you're catching up. Somebody has already said that the Knockout Black and Blue Rough Diamond says top 5 balls of 2022. Yeah, it's a pretty versatile one. We've been really impressed with it, and it's only been released for 2 weeks or so. We've been really impressed with the motion on it. Hershey, time stamping. Yes, that is one thing that we have started doing. We've really spent the last few months brushing up on our YouTube. We have, if you look at our reviews, we've got chapters put into those. I am going to be going back through and putting in chapters and timestamps into our drill rooms, so that way it'll be easier to jump around to different topics. But it does take a little bit of time, so I'm going to be going back and updating the ones that have already been posted, and then as we go, as new ones come up, I'm going to try to get them time-stamped as quickly as possible. But I appreciate the feedback very much. Scotty Thompson, thanks for another great comment. Travis Birch, where are you guys from? This place looks familiar. We bowl out of Bolorama Bayfield here in Barrie, Ontario, Canada. Way up in the Great North. About an hour north of Toronto. On the double cross, we've got Nord Attack. Thanks for the review and insight about this ball and urethane play in general. Appreciate that. Somebody complaining they like the old format better, where we didn't talk over the videos. To each their own. To each their own. How much is the black and blue knockout? I know in Canada they go for about $214, $215 plus tax and drilling. I'm not sure what that is in the American dollars. See, Corbin's a great fan of ours. He sends back and forth tons of information. He's also our friend who picked up the big shim. Love my double cross. Shapes a lot more than I expected. First urethane, it definitely has me wanting another. Can you say Pink Widow? Heck yeah. I'm actually very excited to drill up this Pink Widow. Having thrown the Purple Widow, it's going to be really interesting to put them up against each other, because we're going to actually see that original cover stock, the original Brunswick version of the purple cover stock versus the new U73 version, the slightly harder durometer version. So it'll be interesting we'll be able to kind of see the differences in motion, the differences in distance. This thing also has a lot of surface on it. The pink is actually surfaced at 360, 800. Like, that is a lot of surface. So this thing is going to pick up pretty quickly. Somebody else here, I don't think reviewing urethane on a house shot makes much sense. Normally I would agree with that, Soren. Here is the thing. In the world of bowling, gotta say about 90% of people who watch these shows, purchase equipment, are house bowlers. They're your anywhere from 150 to 200, 210 average house bowler who only bowls on the house shot. So for them, seeing it and being able to understand what looks good and what doesn't is very, very helpful for them. Now, I'm sure bowlers like yourself who are much more experienced, seeing it on a house shot would definitely be better. And now that the great pandemic is starting to wane slightly and we're getting a little bit more back into the flow of things, I'm hoping that we're going to be able to get a sport shot down and do a little bit of comparison with the urethane and some of the other pieces that are more tournament pieces, so that players like yourself can see a little bit more of the difference on a sport shot. But I appreciate the feedback. Yeah, Red Sox 16-pound purple hammer is 30 diff. Yeah, that's what we were saying. A lot of the pros were going up to a 16-pound just to get that extra differential in the purple. Now they don't have to. They can get it in a 15. From the Paragon. This really doesn't seem like good for house shot. Depend on the bowler. Your speed dominant bowler, this is probably going to be a lot better for them on a house shot as opposed to your rev dominant player who's already able to get the ball to pick up fairly easily. They probably want this more towards heavier oil, or it's going to force them in a lot farther inside earlier. Can you go over the study you mentioned in ball motion? I think we already talked about that. Why an ASIM as a benchmark? That's a good question. I think that's one actually we talked about. Joshua asked why benchmark ASIM. And it was mostly because, for myself, an ASIM as a benchmark ball allows me to use pin distances to retain tilt longer. As a lower tilt bowler, symmetricals don't allow you to do that. So with a shorter pin, asymmetrical, you can have the ball retain a little bit more tilt, gets down the lane a little bit cleaner, has a little bit more energy. Normally, benchmark balls for 99% of players are symmetricals. Urethane versus low flare. Ooh, both have their place. Urethane is a much different motion. Urethane is very, very early and then rolls a very long way, where short pin tends to, for most players, you could put much more surface on it, even though it's retaining tilt, so it will burn off energy without rolling forward. So they both have their place. I find most low tilt players, well, almost all low tilt players, struggle with urethane because it burns up so early on anything but the heaviest oil concentrations. So a short pin for them tends to look a lot better. Also for your speed dominant players, your low flare layout is probably going to be a little bit better because you can still get a ball that's not going to it's not going to roll so early, so it's still going to have some motion. I mean, they're already having a problem getting motion down lane as it is as a speed dominant player. If you take away what little motion they have, they're basically throwing a straight ball. With a short pin, we can still get a little bit of reaction down lane, but we can also make sure that the ball is absorbing oil, so they're not going to get a tight spot down lane as well, because that's going to be doomed for a speed dominant player. I think that's it for YouTube this week. I did have a question from someone on Facebook about helping them build an arsenal, and absolutely, I have no problems helping people build arsenals. We do that through our Patreon. If you go to through our links on here through Patreon, we do have a section in there where we'll analyze your shot, we'll make recommendations on layouts, we'll make recommendations on surfaces and on equipment choices. So if you are interested in getting an arsenal put together, please don't hesitate to go check out our Patreon page. It's like $50, excuse me, and we'll work with you. It's not just a one-time thing. We'll give you what we suggest, and then we'll work with you back and forth to make sure that you've got something that you're comfortable with. Let's see here. Phone is going crazy. Let's check the chat here. Good evening, Vincent. You're gonna have to get one of those, guy. You can just come in and get one. Get one. Dead Palmer's new format is way better, very informative with the various lines. See, I like the new format a lot better as well. One of the things that's always bothered me about ball reviews is that it's very subjective. When you see a ball being thrown, you don't have anything to compare it to generally. I know there are other reviews that have been using a benchmark as well, and I think those are to compare one ball versus another. And I think that's really the next step. That's the next evolution in ball reviews, really. Because day to day, you know, your patterns can change. You can be on different topography, different places in the center, different seasons, different humidities. There's so many things that affect a shot from day to day. But by having a ball that you can say, all right, this ball, I threw this ball and I know how this ball works all the time. By comparing it to it, I know that pretty much I can compare this ball to every other ball I've reviewed, because I can say, all right, it's ball X was 3 feet earlier and 5 boards more. What other balls were like this? Or I don't, I'm putting that in my arsenal. I need something that's going to be, a little earlier and smoother. Well, this one is, 3 feet less and 2 boards less hook and it's a much smoother shape. By being able to do that, I think it allows people to really get a handle on what they're purchasing and what to expect out of a piece of equipment. Especially with so many different styles out there. I mean, we do have 3, sometimes 4 or 5 styles we've had in the past. But just because we have 5 styles doesn't mean we're covering the gamut of so many other styles. But by being able to compare it to a very common, very well-respected ball, it allows people to look at it and say, okay, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I've got, or this is what I've thrown, and I know how it compares to this. How does this compare to it? So I gotta throw one from your library first. Oh, I know. Yeah, come on in. We'll get you a thumb drilled. One of the programs we run here at our local shop. I kind of hope that other shops get an opportunity to do this. Obviously, we do the show here. We get a lot of equipment in here, and it affords us the opportunity to switch grip everything that we have come in and actually put it out in a library, so that if somebody comes into the shop, they can actually just get a thumb drilled, and we'll fit them up into one of the pieces. So if they want to try something out, we've got them drilled with a pretty standard layout, like demo balls. And they can come in and they can try stuff out. We can then go right down to the center and try it out, and they can decide if that's the shape they like, if that's the ball reaction that they want. That's what Vincent's talking about in the chat. So yeah, get in here, we'll get you a thumb drilled, and then we'll get you out on the lane and throwing one. So, okay, what else do we got here? Now, very important, if we are building you an arsenal, let us know what the arsenal is for. Because there's a big difference between an arsenal for, say, a collegiate tournament or a state tournament, or like going to nationals in Vegas. They're very different arsenals, because there are certain things that are more prevalent in one tournament than another. Like, you're pretty sure when you go to nationals, the USBC nationals, you're going to need slower stuff for one day. You're going to need faster stuff that's a little cleaner for the second day, because the patterns, they generally make them different enough that you can't throw the same ball. You can't throw the same ball both days. You should be able to hit the pocket with anything. Whether you can carry or not, that's a different story. So let me see here. Any other questions? Going to the Facebooks. Joshua asked, what ball motion do each of you prefer? Traction versus continuous versus angular? While I think that that's kind of dependent on the condition we're bowling on, because each condition will kind of dictate what you should be throwing. You don't want to throw something that's really traction-y when you need a ball to get down lane because you know where the friction is. You know, you kind of have to let the lane tell you what you need. On a house shot, a typical house shot tends to be that our speed dominant player will play more traction stuff early to create some friction and get the ball to the pocket. Our speed dominant player, our rev dominant player will play more angular equipment. Because I've got a little bit more speed, I can get the ball to see the friction a little bit more. And our matched player will play more continuous equipment. Now, sometimes that flip-flops, depending on what pair we're on. We have some very dynamic lane topography on a couple of our lanes. So sometimes I'll end up playing the angular stuff just to try to get it, the continuous stuff, to try to get it through the pins and to not have such a short hook window. And we'll see Scoops throwing the angular stuff because he needs it to really open up the pocket to get better carry. I think that's about it. I really want to get into the I really want to get to the layout table. So why don't we do that? So I'm going to flip over here. And I'm going to change microphones. Hopefully everybody can still hear me. And we're going to head over here to the layout table. All right. I can tell Nick just logged on. Because I went to the layout table and all you see is, oh my God, it's here, it's here. Oh yes, Scoops, it is here. It just came in this afternoon. Yes, very, very excited. All right, so we've got everything here so that everybody can see everything. I'm just going to move this a little bit farther. There we go. Okie dokie. So we've got the 4 new pieces in front of us. We've got the GB4, our Collision, which already has some lines, and I'll explain those in a minute. And then we've got our 3D offset and our Black Widow pink. So let's start at the start here. Oh my God, this thing feels heavy. It's a 15.3, but it feels like it's 1,000,000 pounds. Holy moly. I'm getting weak in my old age. So this is a 248 041 or 043 differential. So this is kind of in your benchmark range. You could even see it would kind of fit into the late hook for us if the differential was or the RG was a little bit higher. So in theory, I could really dunk the fingers in this to raise the RG to push it down lane, to make it a little bit later hook. So why don't we do that? That actually is not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea at all. For this one, we're going to lay this out 55 degrees. Obviously, the drill angle has little impact because it is a symmetrical ball, but we're still putting it in there. Do it! Let's see here. So we're going to go 55 by 5 by 40. Okay, so let's see here. Oh yeah, we already measured that off. Just make sure here. 5 inches by 40 by 40. And then we're going to mark off our pap on this. Boom. And we go over here, 5 7/8. And so this is going to be for us. We'll dunk the fingers on this pretty deep. Because we've got the flip block at the top here, that's going to impact, drilling through it is really gonna impact the differential on it. So this should be really good. Yeah, it's one of those weird things. With flip blocks, you have to be kind of cognizant of where you're drilling through, because you think it is a fairly large mass at the top. So when you drill through it, you end up taking a different density than you would, say, like with a radical finger scoop, where they took all the material away so you wouldn't hit it. This one really affects it. Just marking this off. Oh, Dodge Viper had posted something, but he went away. I think I'm gonna have to like look at the moderator on this thing. It is like super jumpy on people. Oh, I don't know about that pin position though. What are we looking at? Yeesh. Yeesh. That's going to put the pin within about a ½ inch of the finger hole, and that is not my favorite thing. Your chat doesn't like me. I know, right? I think if you put too many capitals, sometimes it kicks people out. So, yeah, for now, this is what we're looking at. So I'll bring it up here. You can see that pin position on it. That is pretty close pin position. So I'm going to think about that just for a few minutes, because that's going to be within the warranty area. You think it's going to be... Oof. Yeah. I'm probably going to have to move it because it's going to be within about a ½ inch. So let's move it right away. That's that. If every ball had dot and dynamic core, I wouldn't have to worry about that. All right, well. I didn't even put on my caps. I know. Let's see here. Well, we're gonna have to do something different then. Why not? Oops. Bro, I know, right? Ooh, I got an idea. Let's go 55 by 4 1/2. I just wanted to say the Pink Widow looked good in person. It really does look good in person. 100% agree. I don't know why it would take that away from you. I'm not sure. Let's see here. What if we just go a little stronger with the flare? We'll pull the pin back a little bit. Maybe it'll get a little bit closer towards my finger. Maybe we can dunk it in a finger hole. That's the problem with laying out stuff for everybody. Everybody's got different paps. You got to worry about whose pap goes where, and if it gets too close to this hole or that hole or whatever. Spend too much time worrying about other people's holes.
Right? It makes me a good person to worry about other people's holes. No. Just look at bowling balls with different colors mixes. Oh, you know what? The one thing I have noticed is the pinks, the pores on the pinks. Like, they are really pretty pearls. They're neat. Like, they're really pretty. And the pearl comes out at different angles. So it actually matches the photo very, very well. It's funny you bring that up because I was looking at the 3D offset today and realized, holy moly, that's a pearl. Because I hadn't looked at it, because on the website it looks like a solid, and when you look at the data sheet on it, it just says like the name of the cover stock is like a number, so you don't really kind of know until you get to look at it close up, and it's like sparkly and stuff. It's like sparkly and stuff. It's not a vampire. It's, yeah, Paul Switzer can't have it. That's better. All right. So what we did here is we just changed the pin distance a little bit. We sped it up just a tiny bit, just so that we could push that pin position away from the finger to make it a little bit more flare safe. We'll still dunk the fingers in this thing and raise the differential, or raise the RG, lower differential, something, whatever. I'm tired. For example, that one beside it would look really different. That one? Yeah, this one looks super different from the catalog. Super, super different. Even this one, even the GB4 looks really different. It looks kind of more purpley bluish red on camera, but in person it's like a deep gray. So okay, we got this one. We're gonna dunk fingers. That's the official term, dunk. We're gonna dunk them. I don't know what the hell the proper word for it is. I'm just some goofball drilling bowling balls. All right, there's number one. Now let's talk about the Collision next, since you brought that up there, Vincent. You can see I've already got this one laid out. Gone with a pretty strong position for the mass bias here. I've used, this is actually going to replace my Results Pearl from Radical. This is a hybrid, so it's going to give me that versatility with changing the cover stock that I've talked about for ball up. But this is also one of the strongest hooking balls that DV8 has made for motion-wise. Heck, Parker Bone just won a tournament this weekend with it, and it hasn't even come out yet. Like, as soon as he threw it, he won. Like, darn. So we're going to give this thing a try. It is dot and dynamic core, so if we'd had that issue with the GB4, that the pin had been too close, we wouldn't have to worry about it, because it's just a stamp rather than a pin, which is why I like dot and dynamic core so much better. So this one we have drilled 50 by 5 by 35. So it's going to be fairly hockey stickish down lane. We're going to take advantage of the really strong cover stock on this. Once we review it, I'm going to play with the cover stock. I'm probably going to take it to 2000 so that way I've got the room to either take it up to make it more angular or take it down to make it more traction-y. Even though it's not a traction ball, you can give it more traction without it being a traction ball. Just putting it out there. The word has a meaning as well as an ability, yeah. I'm gonna make Scoops wait because I'm gonna do the 3D offset first, just so I can make him wait for the Black Widow pink. Now I've been looking at a lot of videos for this one. Look at this thing. See, it doesn't really look pearlish until you just kind of catch it. It just looks like it's got some phasing in it as a solid. But it's a pearl. Now, even though this thing has a pretty strong core, I think it's 053 or 058 differential. The intermediate differential is only 008. So it's closer to symmetrical than it is asymmetrical. And the feedback that I've heard from a lot of people is they expected when they threw this thing out of the box for it to go down lane and turn left. And that's not exactly what this ball was known for. This was a ball that was really heavy rolling. It was smoother with some pop down lane, but it was a very controlled ball. So they've prepared everything on it, even the cover stock at 500 2000. So it's a 500 skip sand 2000 to slow it down and make it a little not quite as poppy down lane, more smooth. One of the first things I've heard from everybody who throws this thing is when you hit it at 3000 or 2000, 3000, it really lights up down lane. It really picks up. So that will be something to play with later. Now I think, being that it's going to be a much different shape than the Collision, I think for this one, I'm going to drill it with the similar layout. The core's too strong to be a late hook ball. Our late hook balls tend to be RG252 plus, so we could probably get it there, but also it has a core of a differential of less than 045. So that's going to be really hard to get all of that core dynamic out of it to make it a good late hook ball. Same thing for burn. Burn, we tend to like RGs of 2.55 plus. It's going to be almost impossible to drill enough differential out of this thing to get it to there. Same thing, differential for the core of less than 035. There's no way we're going to get this core to 035. Now what we could do is drill this up as our benchmark ball. It's a little strong for the fresh. It's over that 050 differential, but it is in that 248 to 252 RG area. I take it back. The Collision matches the image online really well. Make scoops wait to the last one. I am gonna make them. I'm a bad man. Not like John Cena bad, because people can see me. This swamp's for you, that's right. Maybe that's the problem is I haven't been running through enough swamps. That's why I've been getting hurt. So let's drill this like our benchmark ball then. So we're gonna go 50 degrees differential, so it's gonna be fairly early. 4.5. And then we're gonna go 75 degrees on the valves. So we're really gonna slow this ball down. Let's see what it looks like. See, I've really been liking the shape of my my current benchmark, the Obsession Tour Solid, the brown ball. My heat was really good on house patterns, being pin up, but I do find that not only does it lane shine a little bit, because the higher RG, we've been seeing a little bit more over-under, where the tour is kind of blending it out a little bit more for me. The pin down isn't quite as reactive down lane. It rolls a little bit smoother So I've really been liking that. But this is a pearl. Like, I'm very torn on this. I feel like I should be drilling this pin up just so I can like mash it. That's it. I'm just going to drill a pin up. The heck with this. Yeah. Not late hook. Give me the roll. All right. Just going to drill a pin up. The heck with it. It's what I wanted to do when I started. Just follow your instincts, Rob. Worst case scenario, you can buy yourself another one and drill it pin down if you're really that worried. So we were saying 50. We're going to make this a pretty strong. Ooh. And by 35. You're a cruel wife. Make him throw it last. I always throw last. That way I have to stay awake through the rest. If I bowl first or second, I might fall asleep. I'm old. Oh, but I will get to throw it on Wednesday, and I guess I could keep Nick from throwing it on Wednesday. I mean, that is tomorrow, and it'll be drilled for tomorrow. That's pretty cruel. All right, so there we go. We've drilled this up as a bit of a ball up. Similar to the Collision, but it's not going to be the same shape. So now what that might actually do too is it might actually allow me to, this thing's 502,000. I wouldn't mind having, yeah, being a pearl but a little smoother might be better. I can lay a little bit of surface on this, a stronger surface like the 502,000, and keep this one a little bit shinier. We'll see what happens. So here we are. There we go. Man, why does the pin always turn color? I don't know. You know what this thing's missing? Gold sparkles. Sparkle, sparkle. That's the new thing, you know, sparkles. It's like vampires. Vampires sparkle, they're cool. Ed Sheeran is not cool.
Ed Sheeran is adorably cool.
Scoops made a small puff pastry, I think, on the screen.
What that means.
I don't know either, but okay. Last but not least, here she is, guys and girls, athletes, bowlers. Black Widow pink. CW Paints, thanks for joining us. Yeah, that 3D offset. You know, there are some balls that you end up buying a few of. I bought a case of Intels. I went through a case of Conspiracies. That was a darn good ball. I really have this feeling that I'm really going to like the 3D offset. I'm going to end up with another one. I just feel like I'm going to end up with another one. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with that, I guess. As long as I don't die when I get home. Okay, so let's figure this out. We've got a purple hammer at 3.5 inches by 35 degree val angle. We've got a purple at 4.5 inches by 40-degree val angle. We've got a double cross at 5 inches by 35-degree val. And then we've got a purple, the Purple Widow at 55 by 5 by 35. So, 3D core for the new ball, but they chose. Oh man, if Mo has a modified version of this core, case of bonuses is a good one. If Mo has another version of this, I could see them releasing the updated version after this. Just be like, hey, look, here's the ball that you guys all asked for, and here's the better one. So, boy, oh boy. The 55-degree angle on the start, I find on the Purple Widow is really, really early. It shapes a little too early for me. Being lower tilt and being that we can kind of adjust how this ball is going to read, I think we're going to go with a little longer drill angle, so it doesn't quite pick up as early. Let's just see what it looks like here. I thought about going with a short pin to get it to retain a little bit of tilt, but with the surface the way it is, it's going to bleed off really fast anyway. So I'm wondering maybe, yeah, 5-inch pin, yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking, like a 70 degree by 5-inch pin, and then by like 40, get it to lay off a little bit, really slow it down lane. That is the beauty of being able to do the reviews like this, is we can kind of tailor what we need. There we go. Let's see where that sits. That should still be, that's probably going to put the pin, well, as I think of it, that's going to put the pin really close to my thumb, which is going to make it a little more symmetric. But Hammer Spare Ball doesn't match the photo online. Yes, some of the photos are really bad. I know the Taboo Spare, similar to the Black Widow Spare Ball, they were really kind of all over the place for color mixes. It was like they just kind of threw in whatever they had left over. Let's see here. Better 3D offset now with Mo. Yeah, so with Mo D's. Yeah, it's like it's a 3DD offset. I like that. That's pretty good. All right, let's see where this pin comes up on this 5-inch. All right, so that's going to place the pin. I hate being low tilt. See where it sits. This is always the worst part. Nope. Unfortunately, that's going to leave us with about a 1/4 inch. So we can't do that. Last thing I want is this Pink Beauty cracking or anything like that. And the fastest way to get a ball to crack is to drill it too close to the pin. What? Alright, let's make my little pencil shorter. Let's try this again. See, I gotta, it's another one of those situations that you really see the difference after drilling a few balls with dot and then going back to one with a pin. I can put the pin on a dot ball exactly where I want it and I don't have to worry about it because it's not a pin. I don't have to worry about any of the cracking issues. Well, when in doubt, let's play with the valve angle a little bit. Same 5-inch pin. Let's go with a little bit less valve angle on it, just so it doesn't see the friction quite as quickly. Let's see what that looks like. Hopefully better. Worst case scenario, I'll, you know, put a really strong layout on it, and I'll do like Gary Faulkner, the non-national PBA champion one, and shine it up. I don't know if you've tried to shine urethane before. It's very difficult, but if you have CTD products, it's actually fairly easy. You can, sorry? Barely an inconvenience. I've actually done it for scoops, where I think it was the red pearl hammer. It's another one of those ones that even though it's pearl doesn't shine up, and all I did is I took it up. I went 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000D, 5,000D, and then the 5,500 polish, and the thing like shines. So let's see here. This is looking a little. Could be. Oops. Have to go 1-inch reverse on my ring finger to get some tilt back. Yeah. Mo and I had done a few changes to my grip over the years. One of the things that I've learned over time is that part of my problem with tilt is my release. Because I am very rev dominant, the way that my hand was getting to the line, with the way that I was able to snap it off, my 2 fingers were leaving the ball at the same time, even when we were changing the pitch on it, because of my timing. So as I guess we've talked about it a little bit on the show, as I've been working on things over the pandemic, one of the things I've been trying to do is really work on my speed and being able to create tilt. And someday I'll grow up to be a real bowler. Yeah, it's actually surprising. I changed up my my approach a little bit. Let's see how we're doing there. Bingo! That gives us enough room. All right, there we go. So we just went with a 40-degree valve angle just to push that pin up a little bit more. Yeah. I forgot what was I talking about?
You were saying you changed up your angles a little bit.
Before that.
Something from that. Over time you changed up some angles.
Oh yeah, sorry. Over time I've learned to be able to, by being able to kind of get my timing a little bit more together, and quite frankly to get some strength. I've been able to create a little bit more range in my speed. You can tell scoops will tell you, my ball speed has, I'm able to vary it a fair amount now. I'm just using just a little black Sharpie here to make sure that my lines, because this ball is so light, the yellow is really hard to see. I'm just giving a little run over my lines there, just so you guys can see them a little easier there. There we go, see? There we go. Ooh, and that's gonna put our CG right there. It's kind of cool. It's fun when you put the CG right here on your pap, because then you get to roll around it and stuff. But you can only do that with the symmetricals. Okie dokie, artichoke. We got some bowling balls laid out. We've gone with very strong with the Collision. This is going to become our ball up. This one here is drilled the same as the Collision, but it's going to have a much different shape. We already know that. And this may change before I drill it tomorrow, but not a lot of time for me to make choices. Might have to call Eric. This Black Widow, I think, is going to be awesome where it is there. Still a fairly strong mass bias position. And then the GB4 we've drilled for some control. We're going to dunk the fingers in that to make it a little bit later hook. So we got 4 pieces here that we're going to review. This is going to be fun to review against all the other urethane. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, except for Scoops. Scoops doesn't get to throw it. Nick just gets to look at it. Right, Dawn? Okay. So I'm heading back over to the computer table. Oh, old man Rob.
Son of a gun. Stupid thing. Frickin' no sound. Yeah, I did that thing again where it has no sound. Alright, I'm back again. I'm gonna go through that whole thing again. Yeah, I know. I gotta go through all that spiel again. So, thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. Really enjoy doing these shows and talking back and forth with everybody. CW Pants, yeah, I really like that idea of dropping down to 14 pounds. I was trying to show in the book here, you probably saw me holding up this awesome book here, Bowling Beyond the Basics, written by James Freeman and Ron Hatfield. There's a great part on bowling mathematics in there, and when you talk about ball speed, a lot of people get afraid to drop down to 14 pounds. You know, you get a weak hit and they're like, oh, it's a 14-pound hit. But it actually, if you look at it, ball speed is one of the most important factors of carry. It creates the energy that creates pin action. So by dropping down in weight, if you can increase your ball speed, all that does is benefit you. So definitely don't be afraid to drop down ball speed. I'm glad that CW Paints, I'm glad that you brought that up. Scoops, you can wait longer. Dude, your lips are moving, but there's no sound coming out. That's because you haven't caught up yet. There's definitely sound coming out now. I definitely know there's sound coming out. But while I'm waiting for them to catch up, because there's a little bit of delay, they should be able to hear me now. Hold on, I'm gonna... Can you hear... Oh my god, I'm a Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? Do we have sound? Well, anyway, I'm going to finish this up. If you want to send in a question or comment or have something you want us to take a look at, don't forget to check us out at lanesidereviews.com. That'll take you to our Facebook page. From there, you can go to any one of our social pages. You can check us out here on Twitch, Laneside Reviews, twitch.com/Laneside Reviews. We replay all of these Tuesday and Thursday shows the next day. They're on YouTube. If you can't catch us here on Twitch, go check us out at Laneside Reviews on YouTube. Post your questions, your comments, everything there. I fixed it! I know. It's just I'm a little ahead of you guys, so when I noticed it, I was like, what else was I talking about? There was all sorts of good stuff I was saying. Yes, likes and subscribes and giveaways. We want to give some stuff away. I've collected a whole bunch of memorabilia and all sorts of good stuff over the years, and I want to put my junk in your trunk? Wait, that doesn't make sense. When you check out our videos, please make sure you follow us on Twitch. Make sure you subscribe and like our videos on YouTube. When we get to somewhere between 40 and 50% on YouTube, we're going to give away a whole bunch of jerseys and all sorts of good stuff. And when we get to 50 followers on Twitch, we're going to give away a hand-signed, not lithograph, but hand-signed Parker Bone III poster. How cool is that? The next one we're going to have is, our next show is going to be on Thursday at 8 p.m. I like this time slot. I really like this time slot. I think it's easier for people to get to. So we're going to keep this going on Thursday. We'll talk about first impressions, because let's be honest, I'm probably going to drill these up tomorrow so that I can throw them tomorrow night in League. Except for Nick, who's not allowed to throw the pink one. He can throw anything but anyone but you, Nick. Anyone but you can throw the pink one. And ooh, where's my Steiner hat? It's over here. Can you come get my Steiner hat? It's right by my Paul Heyman DVD on top of the white. Keep going to your right, into the back room. But yeah, man, if we're gonna go all pro wrestling on this, one of the favorite things I've ever picked up from a fan. Yeah, baby. I can do some Steiner math in this. Heck yeah. Because when I got this on, I've got like 66 and a third chance of winning, but you've only got like 8 3/4 chance of winning because I'm like twice the man that you are and you're half the man that he was. So that's right. So yeah, let's get those subscribes and likes up. Please send all of your questions, comments, anything you'd like to see, anything you'd like us to cover. Send it to us here through either lanesidereviews.com or lanesidereviews@live.com, and you can send us messages. We have our Patreon. Remember, even $1 if you can donate it, that helps us pick up things like bowling balls that we don't normally get so that we can review them for you. And thank you all for watching. Really, very much appreciate it. You guys make the show what it is. So, I guess until next time, I'm 66 and appreciate the insight. Oh, hey, no problem. CW Paints, no problem. This is what the show is supposed to be about, is to help people with information, try to get it out there so everyone can have it. You know, the 14-pound thing, a lot of people don't realize that it going down. They did a study, USBC did a study, and they found there was almost no, like negligible difference in hitting power between 14 and 16 pounds on patterns longer than I think it was 35 feet. So by getting more ball speed, it's just better for you. Like, I don't know. People get hung up on too many worries and stuff and should just be trying to score. Baby. So yeah, I think with that, it's just about time for us to wrap it up. So thank you for everybody for joining us, and until next time, we'll see you laneside.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a show. So until next time, guys, we'll see you laneside.